Hello everyone, this is Al Red Sox fan, and I'm back with the second game of our doubleheader. This is game 3 between the New York Mets and the Los Angeles Dodgers. In the first game we had tonight, Red Sox Seattle, great slugfest. If you'd like, check it out on the channel now. Game 2 pits the visiting New York Mets of 1977, 10 wins and 11 losses, against the Los Angeles Dodgers, 14 wins and 10 losses. I'll be managing the Mets in this 1977 retro replay using Action PC Baseball. On the mound for the Mets, Nino Espinosa. He's no wins, 1 loss with an ERA of 3.80. He'll be opposed by Dodgers pitcher Rick Rhoden, who's 4 wins, no losses, and earned run average below 2, 1.67. It's 75 degrees, wind speed 10 miles per hour, in from center field. And as they say in retro replay world, play ball. Quickly go to the 2 lineups. First, the visiting New York Mets. Batting first, playing third base, Lenny Randle. Batting second, playing right field, Bruce Bosclair. Batting third, the first baseman, Ed Kranepool. The cleanup hitter doing the catching, John Stearns. Batting fifth, the center fielder, Lee Mazzilli. Batting sixth, the left fielder, Dave Kingman Kong. Batting seventh, the second baseman, Felix Millan. Batting eighth, the shortstop, Bud Harrelson. And batting ninth, doing the pitching, Nino Espinosa. The lineup for the hometown Los Angeles Dodgers. Batting first, the second baseman, Davey Lopes. Batting second, the shortstop, Bill Russell. Batting third, the right fielder, Reggie Smith. Batting fourth, the third baseman, Ron Cey, the Penguin. Batting fifth, the first baseman, Steve Garvey. Batting sixth, the center fielder, Rick Monday. Batting seventh, the left fielder, Dusty Baker. Batting eighth and doing the catching, Johnny Oates. And batting ninth, the pitcher, Rick Rhoden. And let me say hello to a friend of the channel in the chat, Ken Castro. How you doing, buddy? Hope all is well. So Lenny Randle will lead off for the Mets, as you can see. On the mound, Rick Rhoden. Rick Rhoden in 1977 for the Dodgers, 16 wins, 10 losses, no saves, ERA of 3.74. Batting average against, 270. Struck out 122, only walked 63. In the retro replay season, an ERA that's outstanding, 1.67. 4 wins, no losses. Striking out 23, only walking 7. Batting average against, 177. The Mets, who struggle scoring runs, find that this will be a difficult game for them, most likely. His battery mate, Johnny Oates, average defensive catcher with an outstanding arm. And then we go to the Dodgers infield, which is just fabulous all the way around. Cey at third, Russell at short, Lopes absolutely marvelous at second, and the wonderful Steve Garvey at first. Outstanding defensive infield. In the outfield, you have Dusty Baker in left, solid fielder, below average arm, Rick Monday, a porous outfielder in center, and then you have an aging Reggie Smith at right, below average right fielder with a very good arm. So here we go, Lenny Randle to lead off. In the retro replay, Randle is batting an outstanding .407. 0 home runs, 1 RBI. In actuality, Lenny Randle batted .304. 5 home runs and 27 RBIs for the Mets. Ken Castro says, nice pregame. Thank you very much, my friend. Randle hit, 314 off right-handed pitching. And again, Rick Rhoden basically, in his retro replay, hasn't given up too many hits. But righties in 1977 hit .278 off Rick Rhoden. Rhoden throws strikes, so Randle will be ready to hit. Johnny Oates gives the sign. Rhoden nods, the windup and the pitch to Randle. And Randle singles into right field. A leadoff single for Lenny Randle. Speed 9 out of 10, stealing ability for second 48%, Garvey holding him on, and it brings up Bruce Bosclair. He's playing right field today for the Mets. He's off to a quick start, batting .400, no home runs, 4 ribbies. In actuality, Bosclair had a good year in 1977, batted .293, had 307 at-bats, 4 home runs, 44 RBIs, and he batted .309 off right-handed pitching. Bosclair, an excellent bunter, 9 out of 10. Hit and run, 4 out of 10. I think what we're going to do here is we're going to let Bosclair swing away. Rodin sets and delivers. And Bosclair singles up the middle. Randall is a 54% chance to get the third on Monday's very weak arm of 3 out of 10, but we're going to hold him. We're not going to run into any outs here. I don't like that 54. If it was 60, I'd send him. So we're going to hold him. First and second, no outs. We don't want to run into that first out at third base. Ken Castro in the chat will tell you, never make the first out at third base. Ed Kranepool steps to the plate, the Mets first baseman, batting .284. No home runs, 5 ribbies. In 1977, Kranepool batted .281, 10 home runs, 40 RBIs. Kranepool batted .291 off right-handed pitching. So, again, he has a good opportunity here to knock Randall in from second base. Kranepool is not a good bunter, but he hit and run of 7 out of 10. I know it's unorthodox, but I do like to hit and run a lot with the Mets because they just have trouble scoring runs. Rodin does throw strikes, and if Kranepool puts the ball in motion, we get fielders moving around and you can find a hole. So we're going to play hit and run here. We're going to roll the dice here, first and second. Here's the pitch by Rodin. And Kranepool sends that ball deep to Baker, who makes the catch. Randall to tag up is a 52% chance to tag up on Baker. Baker has a 3-arm. We didn't run on Monday, and I'm not going to run on Baker right now. So we're going to say no. John Stearns steps to the plate. Stearns, the Mets catcher, batting .241, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. In actuality, in 77, Stearns batted .251, 12 homers, and 55 RBIs. He batted .278 off right-handed pitching. Reynolds at second, Bosclair at first, 1 down. Here's the windup and the pitch to Stearns. And Stearns strikes out. So there's 2 outs, and it's going to be up to the switch-hitting Lee Mazzilli, Mets center fielder, who has struggled early in this 1977 retro replay, only batting .198, 1 home run, and 3 RBIs. Mazzilli did bat .261 off right-handed pitching in 77. In actuality for the year, .250, 6 homers, and 46 RBIs. 2 outs, 2 on. Rodin trying to pitch out of an early jam here. Oates goes through the signs. Rodin nods his head. The windup and the pitch to Mazzilli. And Mazzilli sends that ball deep but foul. So now it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count. 2 on, 2 outs, deuce is wild. The windup and the pitch by Rodin. And Mazzilli grounds that ball in the center field. The Mets take a 1-0 lead. Bosclair goes first to third. RBI single for Lee Mazzilli. And that will bring up Dave Kingman. Kong. Kingman on the retro replay batting .250, 1 home run, 4 RBIs. In actuality, Kingman for the Mets batted .209, 9 home runs, 28 RBIs, and he batted .220 off right-handed pitching for the Mets. I believe, and if Ken Castro is still in the chat and wants to, he can look it up, but I believe Dave Kingman was traded like 5 times in 1977. It's a record. It's either 4 or 5 times. It's crazy. So Kingman's up. Bosclair's at third. Mazzilli's at first. 2 outs. The windup and the pitch by Rodin. And Kingman grounds to Say, who throws to Garvey, inning over. Oh no, I'm sorry. They have to force that second. My faux pas. So Mazzilli's forced at second. Inning over. We go to the bottom of the first. Mets lead 1-0. Dodgers coming up. Due up for the Dodgers. Lopes, Russell, and Smith. Opposing the Dodger lineup on the mound, Nino Espinosa. He earned run average in 1977, 3.42. 10 wins, 13 losses, no saves. 105 strikeouts, 55 walks. Batting average against, 249. In the retro replay, a little higher for everything. 3.80 earned run average, no wins, 1 loss. 21 innings pitched. He's given up 23 hits, 1 home run, 6 walks, 14 strikeouts. Batting average against, 280. His battery mate, John Stearns, solid catcher behind the plate. At third, the average Lenny Randall. Bud Harrelson's aging and below average at short now. Felix Millan, a very good second baseman. And Ed Kranepool, an adequate first baseman. In left field, Dave Kingman, below average, poor arm. Lee Mazzilli, above average with fielding and arm. In center. And Bruce Bosquellar is playing right field for the Mets today. Poor fielder, doesn't have much range and a below average arm. Mets are not stellar defensively. So Davey Lopes to lead off. Gotta watch for a bunt hit by Lopes. Lopes is hitting .308 on the retro replay, 4 home runs and 13 ribbies. In actuality, in 1977, Lopes hit .283, 11 home runs and 53 RBIs, and batted .259 off right-handed pitching. The Mets will move their corners in. Lopes does love to bunt. Espinosa sets and delivers to Lopes. And that ball is grounded into right field past Kranepool, the pulled-in Kranepool, for a leadoff single. Lopes, 9 out of 10 for speed. Kranepool is holding him on. Espinosa will be keeping an eye on him. Very funny. Espinosa must be very good holding runners on because Lopes is only a 31% chance of stealing. So Bill Russell steps to the plate. Dodgers shortstop. Mets will be looking to turn 2 here. It's going to be tough with the speedy Lopes. Russell hitting .276, 1 home run, 12 RBIs on this retro replay. In 1977 for the year, Russell hit .278, 4 home runs, 51 RBIs, and batted .288 off right-handed pitching. Espinosa throws over to first. Lopes is back. We're going to go pitch-by-pitch mode here. The windup and the pitch to Russell. Ball 1. Stearns goes through the signs. Espinosa sets and delivers. We're going to go aggressive. Ball 2. Wow. Russell tried to square to bunt, but pulled back. The pitch was high and outside. 2-0 count. We're going to go back to 1-pitch mode. Espinosa throws the first. Lopes back again. Lopes now has a 74% chance of stealing. So we're going to go pitch out. We're going to go unorthodox. 2-0 count. We're going to pitch out. Lopes stayed still. Alright. 3-0 count. Here's the pitch by Espinosa. And that's bunted. And that's a sacrifice. Lopes goes to second. They get Russell at first. So 1 away. Davey Lopes in scoring position now for Reggie Smith. Smith on the retro replays batting .352, 4 home runs, 15 RBIs. And crushed right-handed pitching at .316 clip in 77. For the year, in total, he had .307, 32 home runs, and 87 RBIs. First base is open with Ron Cey on deck. And we're going to walk Reggie Smith. Set up the double play. Ron Cey in the retro replay, .235, 5 home runs, 15 RBIs. Cey in 77 batted .241, 30 home runs, 110 ribbies. Only batted .234 off right-handed pitching. Espinosa looking to induce a double play ball here. The windup and the pitch to Cey. And that ball sent out to Kingman and left. He makes the catch for out number 2. So 2 outs, 2 on, and the dangerous Steve Garvey comes to the plate. He also crushed right-handed pitching in 77, .309 batting average. In the retro replay, Garvey's hitting 260, 6 home runs, 15 ribbies. For the year, 297, 33 home runs, and 115 RBIs. The windup and the pitch to Garvey. Let's see if we can get him to chase. Grounded to Harrelson. He goes to Kranepool. Inning over. Espinosa pitches out of the jam. We were able to make Garvey chase a little pitch on the outside, and he grounded out. We go to the top of the second. Mets still lead 1-0. And we have What's Blazing in the chat. Thank you for joining me, my friend. Remember to check out his channel. Very good boxing channel. What's Blazing in Sports. Ken Castro says, King Kong Kingman, jerk personified. That's what I have read, Ken. That's what I have read. But I love saying Kong. And like I said, I think he was traded 5 times. 4 or 5 times in 77. It's like a record. So Felix Millan steps to the plate for the Mets. And then it will be Harrelson and Espinosa, the pitcher, to face Rick Rhoden. Millan's batting .247, no home runs, 7 RBIs. In 1977, Millan hit .248, 2 home runs, and 21 RBIs. Not really good against right-handed pitching, .221 average. Here's the pitch by Rhoden. And Millan singles into left. Another leadoff single for the Mets. Bud Harrelson comes up, and he's just been hitting atrociously. He finally has his average over 200, 204, no home runs for 8 ribbies. Harrelson coming to an end of his career in 77. I think he ended up going to the early 80s. Might have played with Philadelphia at the end, the Phillies. I don't know, that sticks in my head. I haven't looked that up in Baseball Reference, but that's what sticks in my head. So Harrelson only hit 178, 1 home run, and 12 ribbies. I know we have the pitcher on deck. I think we're going to sacrifice, though. Or hit and run. Hit and run, we could get a strike him out, throw him out, double play, though. Well, the Mets don't score runs, so we're going to play hit and run here. Harrelson's a 6 for 10 for hit and run. Rhoden throws strikes. Here's the windup and the pitch. Harrelson puts the ball in motion, but foul. So it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. We're going to go hit and run again. Harrelson grounds that to Russell. We stay out of the double play. Millan takes second. He was in motion. Russell throws Harrelson out at first. So Millan's in scoring position with 1 out. And Nino Espinosa steps to the plate. Just love saying that name. It flows. Nino Espinosa. Espinosa on the year for a pitcher, hitting 125. No home runs, no RBIs. In actuality, hit 129. No home runs, 5 RBIs. So Espinosa, an excellent bunter. 10 out of 10. The Dodgers have moved their corners in. Maybe Espinosa can find a hole here. The windup and the pitch. And Espinosa strikes out. So 2 outs. Millan still in scoring position at second. Mets lead 1-0. Lenny Randle comes to plate. Randle's 1 for 1. He singled his first time up. A single here would score Millan most likely from second with 2 outs. He'll be off on contact. Oates goes through the signs. Rhoden nods his head. The windup and the pitch by Rick Rhoden. And Randle sends that ball out to right field, but foul. Smith gave chase, but ran out of room. So the count's now 2 balls, 2 strikes. Millan at second, 2 down. The windup and the pitch to Randle. And Randle grounds it to Garvey, who beats him to the bag, inning over. We go to the bottom of the second. The Mets lead 1-0. 2 up the Dodgers. Rick Monday, Dusty Baker, and Johnny Oates. Monday has struggled mightily in this series. He struck out 6 times in 2 games. On the season, the retro replay of 77 using Action PC Baseball. Monday's batting .224, 5 home runs, and 13 ribbies. In actuality, Rick Monday batted .230, 15 home runs, and 48 RBIs, and only batted against right-handed batters .234. The windup and the pitch to Espinosa. By Espinosa. Promptly Monday, as I say, he struck out 6 times, singles up the middle. leadoff single for Rick Monday. Dusty Baker comes to the plate. Baker 235, 4 homers, 8 RBIs in the retro replay. For the year 1977, 291, 30 home runs, 86 RBIs. A fine year for Dusty Baker back in 77. No outs, Monday at first. Mets would love to get a double play ball here, 2 for 1. Baker hit 298 off right-handed pitching. Let's see if we can get him to chase. We're going to go with the pitch around, try to hit the corner here. Stearns goes through the side. The windup and the pitch by Espinosa. Baker sends that ball into center field. Monday goes first to third. Looks like they had a hit and run on there, the Dodgers. Dodgers have a tying run at third base and Rick Monday. Go-ahead run at first, Dusty Baker. No outs. Johnny Oates, the catcher, comes to the plate. Oates, an excellent hit and run man. The Mets will give up a run for the double play. Oates batting .273 in this retro replay. No homers, no ribbies. In actuality, Oates had a pretty good year as a backup catcher. .269, 3 homers, and 11 ribbies. Batted .266 off right-handed pitcher. The windup and the pitch to Johnny Oates. And that ball sent out to Mazzilli. He makes the catch. And the run scores from third. We have a tie ball game, so Oates gets a ribby on the sacrifice fly. 1 away. Dusty Baker goes back to first, and now Rick Rhoden steps to the plate. Rhoden, an excellent bunter, actually handles the bat pretty well. Hit and run man for a pitcher, for anyone. 7 out of 10, and he's hitting .385. No homers, 1 ribby. So he is a dangerous hitter for a pitcher. In actuality, Rhoden hit .231, which is still very good for a pitcher in 1977. He had 3 home runs and 12 ribbies. Tie ball game here. 1 out. Baker at first. Espinosa sets and delivers to Rhoden. And he bunts it. And they go to first. So Kranepool came in. Throws to Mian covering first. So there's 2 outs. A sacrifice bunt for Rhoden. Baker's now in scoring position for Davey Lopes. Lopes 1 for 1 today. He singled to right in the first. On deck, Russell. Stearns goes through the signs. Lopez nods his head. The windup and the pitch to Davey Lopes. And that ball goes as a liner to left center field. We're going to have Mazzilli's going to try to make a dive at it. And he makes the catch. Unbelievable. Lee Mazzilli keeps us a 1-1 game, robbing Lopes of extra bases and an RBI. So it told us Mazzilli had a 50-50 chance to make that diving catch in left center. We went, yeah, why not? Go for it. And he makes the catch. King Castro says, yes, indeed. Good work right here. Well, thank you very much. What's Blazy in Sports? Al calls a mean game. Good job. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I appreciate that. So we go to the top of the third. It's tied up 1-1. Leading off for the Mets, Bruce Bosclair, followed by Ed Kranepool and John Stearns. Bosclair's 1 for 1. The windup and the pitch by Rhoden. That's grounded to Lopes, over to Garvey. 1 away. Mets first baseman Ed Kranepool steps to the plate, left-handed batter. Kranepool's 0 for 1 today. Rhoden sets and delivers. And Kranepool doubles to right center. So a 1-out double. Kranepool, the go-ahead run at second. John Stern, the Mets catcher, steps to the plate, 0 for 1 today. He'd love to get a hold of one here, find a gap. Kranepool, not that fast of a runner, only 5 out of 10. Oates goes out to the mound, has a word with Rhoden. Now comes back behind the plate. Stern steps in the batter's box. He awaits the delivery from Rhoden, and here it is. And Stern singles into right field. We have a 59% chance of scoring Kranepool on Reggie Smith's arm, and that's a 7 against Kranepool's 5, and I'm going to say no. So first and third, 1 out. Lee Mazzilli comes to the plate. Mazzilli, an outstanding catch to end the bottom of the second and left center, keeping this a 1-1 game, robbing Davey Lopes of at least a double and an RBI. Mazzilli's 1 for 1. RBI opportunity here for him. Singled in the first. Alright, first and third, Mazzilli's a 5 out of 10 hit and run man. Kranepool's at third. We will let Mazzilli swing away on his own volition. The windup and the pitch by Roden. And Mazzilli walks! So a good job. Mazzilli's eye earns himself a walk. We have bases loaded for Dave King Kong Kingman. Who Ken Castro says in the chat, King Kong Kingman, jerk personified. And I have to, not that I know Dave Kingman personally, but that's what I read too. But Kong can get a grand slam here if he sends one out. Kingman 0 for 1. He wants to at least get a deep fly ball to put the Mets ahead. Bases loaded, no place to put Kong. The windup and the pitch by Roden. And Kingman sends that ball out into right center field. We have a 76 chance of scoring Stearns. We're going to take that. 1 run's already scored in Kranepool. Here comes Stearns to the plate. We're going to hold Mazzilli at second. They throw to the plate too late. Stearns scores. The Mets take a 3-1 lead. Kingman, a single with 2 ribbies. Clutch hit by Kong. Mazzilli's at second. Kingman at first. And Felix Millan steps to the plate with 1 away. Millan's a hit and run of 10 out of 10. Mazzilli, 8 out of 10 for speed, but only a 17% chance of stealing third base. On deck is Harrelson, who can't hit worth a lick. You know what? We're going to go unorthodox again with the Mets. We're going to play hit and run with first and second, because I think that's our best chance to get a hit. Here's the pitch to Millan, and Millan grounds it foul. So 2 balls, 1 strike. First and second, we're going to go hit and run again. Roden sets and delivers, and Millan grounds it to Russell. Stay out of the double play there. Mazzilli's at third now. Kingman's at second. 2 down. Bud Harrelson's up, and Harrelson 0 for 1. Maybe he can find a dribbler somewhere that somehow gets through the infield. 3-1 Mets, top of the third. Oates goes through the signs. The windup and the pitch to Buddy Harrelson. And Harrelson grounds it up the middle, but Lopes makes a dive and gets up and throws the Garvey inning over. Davey Lopes saves most likely 2 more runs for the Dodgers, keeping this game a 2-run deficit. We go to the bottom of the third. The Mets 3, the Dodgers 1. What a play by Davey Lopes. Just an absolute marvelous player. Due up for the Dodgers, Russell, Smith, and Say to face Nino Espinosa. Russell had a sacrifice bunt in the first inning. The windup and the pitch by Espinosa. Grounded to Harrelson, over to Kranepool. Out number 1. Reggie Smith steps to the plate. Smith was intentionally walked in the first inning. It worked out for the Mets, as the Dodgers did not score in the first. They pitched around Smith. Smith, a very dangerous hitter, and as stated early, he really mashed right-handed pitching. We're going to try to get Smith to chase with the pitch around. Stearns goes through the sign. The windup and the pitch to Reggie. And he pops that ball up. Harrelson has it, out number 2. So we made Smith reach. He pops out to Harrelson at short, behind the second base bag, actually. So 2 outs, no one on. The Penguin, Ron Say, steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1. Espinosa working quickly. Here's the pitch. Grounded to Harrelson, over to Kranepool. Inning over. Busy inning for Harrelson. He did a fine job. Ken Castro says, Davey Lopes, my boy from Rhode Island. He was such a good player. Excellent player. So Nino Espinosa steps to the plate. Mets pitcher 0 for 1. He'll be taking. Here's the pitch by Roden. Ball 1. That's a rarity. A ball from Rick Roden. So no balls, 1 strike. Espinosa to take again. 1-1 count. Espinosa to grip and rip. And he grounds to Say. Over to Garvey. 1 down. Espinosa hit the ball hard, but right at the Penguin at third. If you don't know why Rick Say is called the Penguin, it's the way he ran. I'm sure if you go to YouTube, type in Rick Say and then type Penguin, they'll show it. Rick Say was another fine player. The Dodgers had an outstanding team from '77. I think it's '81. Unbelievable teams. Now they had some changes of players, but they just had good teams. And they finally, I think it was '81, the strike year. They finally beat the Yankees in the World Series. They lost to the Yankees in '77, '78. Reds beat them for the division title in '79. Pittsburgh beat the Reds in the National League Championship and won the World Series. In '80, the Royals finally beat the Yankees in the pennant, but lose to the Phillies. Yeah, I think it's '81 the Dodgers beat the Yankees, without looking up in Baseball Reference. And Baseball Reference is just absolutely wonderful website. So anything I say you can check and correct me. I'm more than happy if you do correct me. So Lenny Randle steps to the plate for the Mets. Top of the fourth, Mets leading 3-1. Randle 1 for 2. Corners are in, as Randle's an excellent bunter. The windup and the pitch by Roden. And that's popped up. Say makes the catch. 1 out. Bruce Bosclair steps to the plate. Mets right fielder 1 for 2 today. Dodgers back in normal depth in the infield. The windup and the pitch to Bosclair. And he works a walk. So 1 out. Bosclair's at first. 6 out of 10 for running. Only 22% chance of stealing second base. Roden's up to 94 pitches. His threshold is 125. The Mets are making him work. It's only the top of the fourth here, folks. Ed Kranepool steps to the plate. New York first baseman, 1 for 2. 7 out of 10 for hit and run, and you know I love the hit and run. And that's where we're going. Here's the pitch to Kranepool. Off goes Bosclair, and he's thrown out. Johnny Oates. Strike him out, throw him out, double play, inning over. Well, that was a disaster. So we go to the bottom of the fourth. 2 up for the Dodgers. Garvey, Monday, and Baker. I gamble a lot when I manage the Mets just because they don't score a lot of runs, and you got to try stuff. That's what makes it fun managing the '77 New York Mets. And if I lose, I can blame it on my bad players. But right now, we got the Mets at 1 game under 500. 10 wins, 11 losses. Not too bad. So Garvey's up 0 for 1. Again, another Dodger batter who hits right-handed pitcher for over a 300 average. We're going to see if we can get him to reach here. Once again, we're going to go with the pitch around with Espinosa. And the pitch around, all that means is he's going to try to either pitch way in, way out, high or low. Espinosa sets and delivers to Garvey. And that ball is sent out to left center field. Lead-off single for Garvey. Garvey, 6 out of 10 base runner, 54% chance of stealing second. Rick Monday comes to the plate. Finally got a hit in the series, I believe. 1 for 1. He struck out 6 times in this series in the prior 2 games. Espinosa's going to try to induce a double play ball here. He sets and delivers to Monday. Garvey's going, and Stearns guns him out. So bases are cleared. Garvey's thrown out by Stearns at second. 1 away. Monday, the count's now no balls, 1 strikes. Here's the windup and the pitch. And Monday sends that ball deep to Bosclair, but he makes the catch. So 2 outs, Dusty Baker comes to play. Baker 1 for 1 today. 298 off right-handed pitching in '77. We're going to try to get him to reach with a pitch around. Stearns goes through the signs. Espinosa nods his head. The windup and the pitch to Baker. And Baker sends that out to Kingman. He makes the catch, inning over. Espinosa's pitching a pretty good game here. He's only given up 1 run on 4 hits. Go to the top of the 5th. Mets still leading 3-1. They're looking to sweep the Dodgers. Ed Kranepool to lead off, 1 for 2. Johnny Oates and Roden can't get on the same page here. Oates goes out to the mound. They have a word. Now Oates goes back behind the plate. Rodin's ready. Here's the pitch to Kranepool. And Kranepool rips a ball to Russell. He can't handle it. That's going to be an E on Bill Russell, the shortstop. So Kranepool's on due to the error. So once again, the Mets have a leadoff runner on, and John Stearns steps to the plate, 1 for 2. Stearns struck out in the first, singled in the third. He'd love to get another hit here. Rodin up to 103 pitches. The windup and the pitch to Stearns. And Stearns singles into center field. We have a 45% chance to get Kranepool to third. We're going to say no. So first and second, no outs. Lee Mazzilli steps to the plate. The Mets center fielder, 1 for 1. We're going to look to Mazzilli. As Ken Castro in the chat says, Rick Rodin ain't going to last. No, he's not. He has struggled mightily. Let me just... 107 pitches already in the top of the 5th with no outs. Threshold 125. Mazzilli's coming to the plate, 1 for 1. 2 on, no out. The windup and the pitch to Mazzilli. And Mazzilli strikes out. I should have bunted. But Mazzilli's... I should have bunted. That's my faux pas there. I should have played small ball. So 1 away, Dave Kingman comes to the plate. He has a single with 2 RBIs, 1 for 2. 2 on, 1 out. The windup and the pitch by Rodin. And Kingman sends that ball deep to center field. Monday makes the catch at the wall. Tagging up at second is Kranepool going to third. Stearns holds at first, 2 outs. Runners at the corner. Now I really wish I bunted with Mazzilli. I thought about it and I didn't do it. That was dumb of me. So Felix Millan, RBI opportunity here. 3-1 Mets, 2 outs, 2 on. Here's the pitch to Millan. And Millan sends that ball out to right. Smith makes the catch, inning over. Opportunity squandered by the Mets and myself. We go to the bottom of the 5th, 3-1 Mets. 2 up for the Dodgers. Johnny Oates, Rick Rodin, and Davey Lopes. They might be going to a pinch hitter here for Rodin, as he's up to 120 pitches. As Ken Castro said in the chat, Rodin is not going to last. Johnny Oates had a sacrifice fly in the second to tie the game up. The windup and the pitch by Espinosa. Oates grounds to Millan, who goes to Kranepool. 1 out. Rick Rodin comes to plate. Now Rodin on the retro replay, as I stated, is hitting .385. That's outstanding for anybody. He's a pitcher. So they might let him swing away here. 1 out, no one on. Here's the pitch to Rodin. Nope, they went to Boog Powell. This is so strange to see Boog Powell on a Dodger team. Boog Powell, the perennial Baltimore Oriole. I didn't even know Boog Powell played for the Dodgers at the end of his career until I got this game and saw it. And I actually went to baseballreference.com. So I was like, Boog Powell played at the end for the Dodgers? Yes, he did. He only had 41 at-bats in 77, batted .244, no home runs and 5 ribbies. His retro replay, batting .200, no home runs, 1 RBI. So 1 out, no one on. Boog Powell comes to the plate. Here's the pitch by Espinosa. And Powell sends that ball deep but foul. So now we have a no ball, 2-strike count. Espinosa sets and delivers. And he strikes out Powell. So 2 outs, we go to the top of the order. Davey Lopes comes to the plate. Lopes 1 for 2. And was robbed by Lee Mazzilli of most likely a double and an RBI, when Mazzilli made a diving catch in left center, and that was in the 2nd inning. Here's a pitch by Espinosa to Lopes. And it's a strike him out, drop ball, and then Stearns throws to first to record the strikeout. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the top of the 6th. Mets still cling to a 3-1 lead. And the new pitcher for the Dodgers, Elias Sosa. Sosa had an outstanding year in 1977. ERA under 2, 1.98, 2 wins, 2 losses, 1 save. Struck out 47, only walked 12, batting average against 189. On the retro replay, his ERA is slightly up, 2.25, still very good. No wins, no losses, 1 save. No walk, struck out 4, batting average against, down 154. Harrelson is at the plate. He'll swing away. Bud's 0 for 2. Sosa delivers. Harrelson grounds it to Russell, who's going to make his second error of the game. Wow! Unbelievable. The solid fielding Bill Russell has muffed 2 balls at short. Another leadoff runner on for the Mets. And now Sosa will try to attempt to put down the sacrifice bunt. Cey and Garvey have moved in. The corners are in, so they're going to have the wheel play on. Lopes will most likely cover first. So we're going to attempt a sacrifice bunt with Nino Espinosa. Espinosa only has thrown 68 pitches. He's good for 130. He's doing a fine job on the mound. Espinosa's a 10 out of 10 for bunting. Here's the pitch by Sosa. Espinosa puts a good bunt down. They go to Lopes at first, and they get Espinosa, but he does his job. Harrelson advances to second. So 1 out. Harrelson's now in scoring position for Lenny Randle. Mets third baseman 1 for 3. The windup and the pitch to Randle. And Randle grounds it to Cey, who fires to Garvey for out number 2. Harrelson advances to third because Cey had to come in on the ball. So with 2 outs, Harrelson's 90 feet away from scoring. They'll take a clutch hit by Bruce Bosclair to knock him in. Bosclair's 1 for 2. The windup and the pitch by Sosa. And Bosclair grounds to Cey. Inning over. Mets threaten but do not score. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 3-1, New York. 2 up for the Dodgers. Russell, who's made 2 errors in this game. Then Reggie Smith and Ron Cey. If anyone gets on, Steve Garvey. Russell's 0 for 1. John Stearns goes through the signs. Espinosa nods his head. The windup and the pitch. Russell grounds that ball past Randle into left field. A leadoff single. Russell 7 out of 10 for running. 29% chance of stealing second base. Brings up the dangerous Reggie Smith. 1 swing of the bat in this ball game can be tied up, and this time we can't really pitch around Smith. I wonder if we can get him to chase again. 0 for 1. Intentional walk in the, I think it was the first inning. Yep. And he popped to short in the third. Well, we're going to try the pitch around again. Let's see if we can get Smith to reach. The windup and the pitch. Not this time. I had a feeling. Smith walks on the 3-1 pitch. So first and second, no outs. Ron Cey's up. Cey's 0 for 2. They're going to look for double play ball. 2 for 1. Espinosa sets and delivers. And that ball is ripped to Kingman. Oh boy. He has a 37% chance of making the catch. I'm going to say yes. And Kingman makes a diving catch. Unbelievable! Wow! 2 outstanding plays by Mets outfielders today. First Mazzilli, then by Kong. Robbing extra bases, and most likely, if he doesn't make that catch, that ball gets by him, goes to the wall, and Smith, 5 out of 10 speed, might have scored. Could have had a tie ball game. But instead, he makes a web gem of a catch. 1 out. Steve Garvey's at the plate now. Garvey 1 for 2. Garvey again hits right-handed pitching quite well in 77. We're going to try to get him to reach. The windup and the pitch to Garvey. And Garvey sends that ball out to Bosclair, who makes the catch in foul territory up against the wall. 2 down. Espinosa 1 out away from pitching out of a jam. Rick Monday steps to the plate. Dodgers center fielder 1 for 2 today. 2 out, 2 on. Monday at the plate. Espinosa sets and delivers. And Monday sends that ball out to Mazzilli. In right center, Mazzilli makes the catch. Inning over. Mets once again wriggle out of it. We go to the top of the 7th. New York Mets 3, the Los Angeles Dodgers 1. 2 up for the Mets. Kranepool, Stearns, and Mazzilli. Espinosa's doing a fine job on the mound. Kranepool 1 for 3. Sosa's still on the mound for the Dodgers. 12 pitches thrown. Sosa's good for 40. Here's the pitch to Kranepool. Kranepool sends that ball deep to center, but Monday's at the track and makes the catch. 1 up, 1 down. Mets catcher John Stearns steps to plate. 2 for 3. Stearns is. Looking to grip and rip. Sosa throws strikes. You got to be ready to grip and rip against Sosa. So Oates goes through the signs. The windup and the pitch to Stearns. And Stearns grounds it to Garvey. Throws to Sosa covering the bag. 2 up, 2 down. They'll be up to the Mets center fielder Lee Mazzilli to extend this inning. He's 1 for 2. Bunt of 8. We could try to drop down a bunt for a hit. Dodgers infield in normal depth. We're going to let Mazzilli swing away. The windup and the pitch to Lee Mazzilli. And Mazzilli walks. So Mazzilli's good eye earns him a walk on the 3-1 count. Mazzilli 8 out of 10 for base runner. 30% chance of stealing second. He's not going anywhere. Garvey's holding him on, and Kong comes up. Dave Kingman, who just made an outstanding diving catch in the bottom of the 6th to help the Mets maintain their lead. 1 for 3. He's due for a big boom. The windup and the pitch to Dave Kingman. Mazzilli's at first, 2 down. And Kingman works himself a walk. So Sosa struggling here. Gets the first 2 outs and then walks Mazzilli and Kingman. So 2 on, 2 outs. Felix Millan comes to the plate. Millan's 1 for 3. The windup and the pitch by Sosa. And Millan grounds to Say, who goes the short way to Lopes. Inning over. Mets threaten but do not score. We go to the bottom of the 7th. 2 up for the Dodgers. Dusty Baker, Johnny Oates, and the pitcher, Ilya Sosa, excuse me. Most likely a pinch hitter, though. Espinosa is now up to 90 pitches. Again, he's good for 130. Skip Lockwood was used in back-to-back games. And out of curiosity, is he even available? Lockwood is only available, the Mets closer, for only 20 pitches. Baker, 1 for 2 today. The windup and the pitch by Espinosa. Baker pops it up, calling Fortis Harrelson at short. 1 out. Johnny Oates, Dodgers catcher, steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1. Sosa wants the ball. He wants to work quickly. He sets and delivers. And that's ripped to Randall, who goes to Kranepool. 2 up, 2 down. The pitcher, Elias Sosa, steps to the plate. When I click pitch, a pinch hitter will most likely pop up. Ken Castro say Mets playing tight. Yeah, they are. I really do enjoy managing them. Ken, do you remember like Game of the Week on NBC, I think it was called? They used to show a lot of Mets games. And so when I wasn't watching the Red Sox, and this is well before cable, for us, at least here where I lived in Massachusetts. And I got to see a lot of Mets games, and you get to see other different players I never got to see. Again, younger baseball fans don't really understand that now, because there's so much. You can see all the players, and this, the All-Star game was huge to me. I still love the All-Star game, but you got to see so many different players. It was great. So I became a pseudo Mets fan until they beat the Red Sox in '86, and I pretty much hated them after that. So, but in '77, I didn't mind. So Sosa's up. We're going to click pitch. He'll bring up a pinch hitter. So Lee Lacy will pinch hit, as I thought, for the Dodgers. Lacy on the retro replay is only hitting 182, 1 home run, 1 RBI. In actuality, Lacy hit 266, 6 homers, 21 RBIs. Lacy against right-handed pitching, a very good 301. So 2 outs. Espinosa looking to get the 3rd one. Lacy looking to extend the inning here for the Dodgers. The windup and the pitch to Lacy. And he strikes him out! Espinosa on cruise control so far. We go to the top of the 8th. Mets leading the Dodgers 3-1, looking for a sweep. And on the mound for the Dodgers, Al Downing. Downing at 77. No wins, 1 loss, ERA of 6.75. Not good. Struggled with his control. Walked 16, only struck out 23. Batting average against 278. If you think that's not good for a pitcher, his retro replay numbers are awful. His ERA is 20.25. Yes, folks, 20. You know the number after 19? 20.25. No wins, no losses, no saves. Walked 11, has walked 11, only struck out 3. Batting average against 400. The Mets have an opportunity here to get some runs. King Castro in the chat says, my friends waited forever for the All-Star game back then. I did too. I used to love it. I still like it. I like that they had the team that won the All-Star game had home field advantage for the World Series. I personally liked it because it made them play the game. You know, it came because the All-Star game for baseball was the last All-Star game that they actually sort of played the game until a few years back where it was just a laugh fest. And they ended the game in a tie, which was awful. So I liked when now they got rid of it. I liked the play-to-win scenario. So Bud Harrelson steps to play. He's 0 for 3. And if you're thinking pinch hitter, I would agree a little bit. But because we have a 2-run lead, and Harrelson's actually my best defensive shortstop, I'm going to keep him in the game. So Harrelson's 0 for 3. Lefty-lefty matchup. I mean, a lefty-righty matchup. And Harrelson's even worse against left-handed pitching. Let's go to my roster real quick. Position by depth, shortstop. Doug Flynn I don't have yet. He hasn't come over to trade. Phillips. Valentine. You know what? I think I will go with a pinch hitter, I think. I think I'm going to bring in Valentine. Mike Valentine. Or Vail, I'm sorry, jeez. Let's go pinch hitter, Mike Vail. Mike Vail, against left-handed pitching, batted .351. So Mike Vail is going to come in to pinch hit. See if we can get some extra runs here. Vail on the season, .276, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. That's all pretty much off left-handed pitching. In 1977, Vail hit for the year .262, 8 home runs, 35 RBIs, and off left-handed pitching he batted .351. Here's the windup and the pitch to Vail, and Vail strikes out. Oh God! So Vail's out. First out of the top of the 8th. Sosa comes up. Espinosa. He's only thrown 103 pitches. And he's cruising. We already got 1 out. You know what? We're going to keep him in the game. Here's the windup and the pitch to Sosa. He'll take. Strike 1. He'll take again. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Strike 2. 1-2 count. Espinosa to swing away. And he strikes out. So Downing strikes out the first 2 batters he faces. So he has not followed suit so far with his horrible retro replay season. He's got the first 2 outs with K's. Lenny Randall comes to the plate. Randall, the switch hitter, will now bat right-handed. And Randall against lefties hit .282 in 1977. Randall 1 for 4. He'll take. Ball 1. Randall to take again. 1-1 count. Randall ready to grip and rip. Oates goes through the side. Downing sets and delivers. And Randall sends that ball deep to right field in the corner. Smith makes the catch. Inning over. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Mets lead 3-1. We need a shortstop as we pinched hit for Bud Harrelson. And we're going to go with Phillips. He's 3 out of 10. He's awful. Yes. Yes. I should have probably left Vail in to play right, but that's okay. So Espinosa to face Lopes, Russell, and Smith here in the bottom of the 8th. The windup and the pitch to Davey Lopes. 1 for 3. Grounds to Espinosa, who throws him out. Nice play by Espinosa. Ball coming back up the middle. So 1 out. No one on. Bill Russell comes to the plate. Russell's made 2 errors at short today. He's 1 for 2 at the plate. He wants to get on. That will bring the tying run into the plate in the form of Reggie Smith. The windup and the pitch to Russell. And he sends that ball out to Bosclair, who comes in, makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down. Reggie Smith comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1. Stearns goes through the signs. No one on, 2 outs. Espinosa, the windup and the pitch. And he walks Smith. So Espinosa is now up to 119 pitches. Mets are 4 outs away from victory. Skip Lockwood is good for 20 pitches. Ron Cey comes to the plate. Cey 0 for 3 against Espinosa. We'll give Espinosa one more batter. Hopefully he can get Cey. Smith is at first. Cey is at the plate. The Penguin represents a tying run. 2 outs. The windup and the pitch to Cey. And he sends that ball deep to Kingman in left, who makes the catch. Inning over. Espinosa does it once again. We go to the top of the 9th. The Mets 3, the Dodgers 1. Mets pitching has been absolutely outstanding in this series. So, Bruce Bosclair steps to the plate. Lefty-lefty matchup here. Bosclair struggles mightily against left-handed pitching. Only batting 156 and 77. He's 1 for 3 today. Bosclair will take strike 1. He'll take again. Strike 2. 0-2 count. Bosclair ready to grip and rip. The windup and the pitch by Downing. Bosclair pops it up to Russell at short. 1 out. And Kranepool steps to the plate. So Al Downing has been very good today, unlike his retro numbers from previous games. So Kranepool will be ready to swing away. 1 for 4. Oates flashes the sign. The windup and the pitch to Kranepool. And Kranepool grounds it to Lopes. Goes to Garvey. 2 up, 2 down. It'll be up to John Stearns, the Mets catcher, to extend the inning. Stearns 2 for 4 today. And Stearns, another one of these Mets players who does not hit left-handed pitching worth anything. And let's just click on Stearns. Jerry Grody, the other Mets carried 3 catchers, and Jerry Grody hit 327. You know what? I'm going to go with Jerry Grody. Jerry Grody comes in the game to pinch hit. Al Downing up to 21 pitches. He's good for 75. The windup and the pitch to Grody. 2 outs, no one on. And Grody walks. So a 2-out walk continues the inning, and Lee Mazzilli comes to the plate. Mazzilli also struggles against left-handed pitching, but I don't have anyone else to play center field, and he's one of my best outfielders. So he's staying in the game. Mazzilli 1 for 2. Grody at first, 2 down. The windup and the pitch to Mazzilli. And Mazzilli walks, so now Downing's reverting to form. He gets the first 2 batters out, then walks the pinch hitter Grody and the center fielder Mazzilli. 2 outs, 2 on. Dave Kingman, Kong steps to the plate. Kong is 1 for 3. Kong also struggles against left-handed pitching in 77 for the Mets, only 180. And he's a strikeout machine. He'll take. Here's the pitch by Downing. Strike 1. Kong ready to grip and rip now. No balls, 1 strike. Grody at second, Mazzilli at first. The windup and the pitch to Kingman. And Kingman strikes out. So we go to the bottom of the 9th. The Mets 3 outs away from victory. A 3-1 lead. They'll have to deal with Garvey, Monday, and Baker. Righty, lefty, righty. And Garvey hits 309 off right-handed pitching. We need a catcher. We're going to keep Grody in the game to catch. Let's check out our bullpen here. So if we bring in Bob Merrick, who's a lefty, to face Garvey. Garvey only batted .259 off left-handed pitching. And then we go and let him pitch a Monday, and then bring Lockwood in to pitch to Baker. That would be the best case scenario. Or we can just go right to Skip Lockwood, our closer, who's been outstanding since he had a few hiccups in the beginning of the year. And Lockwood only gives up a 205 average against righties. You know what? We're going to go with Bob Merrick. We'll give him a batter here. Again, because Garvey only hit 259 off left-handed pitching. So Bob Merrick's coming in for Espinosa. Espinosa's final numbers: 8 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, it was earned, no homers, walked 3, struck out 3 through 123 pitches. Rick Rhoden's final numbers for the Dodgers: 5 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 2 walks, 3 Ks. Sosa, 2 innings, no walks, no runs, 2 walks. Downing, the pitcher still officially in the game, has pitched 2 innings, 2 walks, 3 Ks. So Merrick comes out, the lefty. In 1977, Merrick's ERA was 3.61. 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 saves. 265 batting average against. Struck out 49, walked 33. Garvey only hit 259 off left-handed pitching. The windup and the pitch by Merrick. And he pops it up to Phillips at short. Please catch it. Out number 1. Excellent. Alright, so Merrick gets that out. And now it's a lefty-lefty matchup here. And Rick Monday only hit 213 off lefties. Monday's 1 for 3. Brody goes through the signs. Merrick sets and delivers. But before that, the Dodgers go to their bench, and Ted Martinez steps to the plate. Martinez crushes left-handed pitching, 370. In 1977, Martinez hit 299, 1 home run, 10 RBIs, and 137 at-bats. Pretty good. So now we're going back to our pen, and now Skip Lockwood will come in. We want Lockwood to come in and close. Merrick does his job. He gets Garvey to pop out to Phillips. So Martinez against right-handed pitching, still really good, but not as good as 370, 282. Skip Lockwood in 1977, 3.38 ERA, 4 wins, 8 losses, 20 saves, 84 strikeouts, 227 batting average against. In the retro replay, numbers are very good. 2.45 ERA, 2 wins, 2 losses, 5 saves, 21 strikeouts, only 1 walk, batting average against 193. So it's Lockwood looking to get his 3rd consecutive save in this series. Here's the windup and the pitch to Martinez. And he strikes him out. The Mets are 1 out away from taking 3 from the Dodgers. They'll be up to Dusty Baker, who's 1 for 3, to extend this inning and bring the tying run to the plate. Baker against right-handed pitching, 298 in 1977. Jerry Grody goes through the signs. Lockwood nods and delivers. The windup and the pitch to Baker. That ball sent out to Kingman, but it goes foul. So now the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Deuces wild. The windup and the pitch by Lockwood. That ball's out to Bosclair. He makes the catch. Ball game over. The Mets defeat the Dodgers 3-1. They've taken 3 straight games. The Mets are now back to 500, 11 wins, 11 losses. The Dodgers dropped to 14 wins and 11 losses. What a ball game. The Mets pitching in these 3 games has been absolutely outstanding. Let's bring up the box score. Winning pitcher, Espinosa, 1 win, 1 loss on the season. Rhoden gets his first loss of the year. He falls to 4 wins, 1 losses. Outstanding player of the game, Espinosa. Let's go to the box score quickly. We'll have that up for you in a moment. Go to OBS. There's the box score. Let's click OK. And bring that down and this up. And there's the box score. That should be up shortly. I'd like to say, before I end this stream, after the quick recap, thank you to Ken Castro who jumped in chat. Thank you to What's Blazing in Sports. Make sure to check out his channel. And anyone who's watched, thank you very much. And if you're watching at a later date, thank you. So, let's go to the box score. Let's go to the pitching first. Espinosa was a player of the game. He's now 1 win, 1 loss. And again, he went 8 innings, as I stated earlier. 5 hits, 1 run. It was earned. Walked 3, struck out 3. Only gave up that 1 run in the Mets' victory. Merrick came in and get the hold. He got that big out against Garvey. That's what we wanted. Garvey hits much lower against left-handed pitching. We would have kept Merrick in to deal with Monday, but the Dodgers came with Martinez. So we brought in our closer, Lockwood, who got the final 2 outs and earns his 6th save. Rick Rhoden went 5 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs, all earned. Walked 2, struck out 3, got the loss. He's now 4-1. Sosa came in, pitched 2 scoreless innings, 2 walks, no Ks. Downing came in. He's been horrible for the Dodgers. He actually went 2 innings, no runs, walked 2, struck out 3. Maybe he's turning the page. Who knows? Quickly go to the batting. Lenny Randle for the Mets, 1 for 5 with a run scored. Bosclair, 1 for 4 with a walk. Ed Kranepool, 1 for 5 with a run scored, had a double. Stearns, 2 for 4, scored a run, struck out once. Grote came in, pinched hit. He walked and stayed in the game defensively. Lee Mazzilli played an outstanding center field in these 3 games. He was 1 for 2 with an RBI, walked 3 times, and struck out once. Dave Kingman, 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs, walked once, struck out once. Felix Millan, 1 for 4. Bud Harrelson, the hitless wonder, 0 for 3. Mike Vail came in to pinch hit for him. He struck out. Phillips came in defensively, did not get an at-bat. He played short. Espinosa, 0 for 3, struck out twice. Merrick, no at-bat. He pitched to Garvey. And Lockwood, no at-bats. He got the final 2 outs of the 9th. In total, the Mets had 35 at-bats, 3 runs, 8 hits, 3 RBI, 6 walks, 6 Ks, 1 double, no triples, and no home runs. They left 25 runners on base. Mets had opportunities to score more. For the Dodgers, on the losing side, Davey Lopes, 1 for 4, struck out once. Russell, 1 for 3. Smith, 0 for 1, walked 3 times. We pitched very carefully around Reggie Smith. It worked. We won. Ron Cey, the Penguin, 0 for 4. Garvey, 1 for 4. Monday, 1 for 3 with a run scored. Martinez pinched hit. He struck out for Monday. Dusty Baker, 1 for 4. Johnny Oates, 0 for 2, but he had a sacrifice fly for an RBI. That was the only Dodger run. Boog Powell, pinch hit. He struck out. Sosa, the pitcher, did not have an at-bat. He came in after Rhoden. Lee Lacy struck out. He was a pinch hitter. And Al Downing pitched 2 innings, did not have an at-bat. For the Dodgers, 28 at-bats, 1 run, 5 hits. So Espinosa just did an outstanding job. Mets pitching in total in these 3 games was absolutely beautiful. I suggest if you like to watch these, go back and watch those games. They were fun. 1 run for the Dodgers, 1 RBI, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. No extra base hits, and they left 13 runners on. So this is Al Red Sox fan saying thank you very much for watching. In recap, the Mets win 3-1. Player of the game, Elio Sosa. The Mets now go to 500, 11 wins and 11 losses. The Dodgers fall to 14 wins and 11 losses. And the Mets are actually, I think they're in 4th place in the division, and they're only, it depends on the division leader. They're only, at worst, 3.5 games out, and at best now, they'll be 2.5 games out. So they're right in this race. Dodgers in the middle of the pack in the West. I'd like to once again say thank you to Ken Castro and What's Blazing in Sports and anyone else who watched. Thank you very much. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you want, subscribe. That'd be great. But most of all, come back, and if we're live, jump in the chat. Share some baseball thoughts. Ken's great to have in the chat. He's a very good baseball fan. Ken Castro asks, how many games in season? It's a 162 game season. The Mets have played. They're 11-11, 22. Dodgers are 14-11, so they've played 25. So, and I want to say, hold on a second. I think I can. Let me close this and exit that. I'm going to bring this up, and let me bring this up and see if this works. Oh, good. This will be up. So, tell me if you can see this, Ken. You should be able to see it. I just switched to the different screen. It's going to be the, there it is. It's the standings. I don't have all the pictures loaded yet, but I load them as I play them. Okay. So, the Red Sox are 19-3. A game and a half in front of the Yankees, Ken. And the Yankees are 18-5. The Red Sox are on a 9-game winning streak. I just beat Seattle. The 77 Red Sox, Ken, are so fun to play. When was the start date? Oh, boy, that's a good question. It was early April. Early April. I would go and show you that, but then I have to bring up another screen, and that's a fiasco for me. Sometimes I end up shutting the game off by accident. I don't want to do that. So we have the Red Sox leading the East 19-3. In the West, Minnesota's 15-10. I'm going to look that up. I'm going to go on the date. Oh, the date. I understand what you mean. It is May 5th. So I'm going to look this up later in Baseball Reference to see. I mean, the Red Sox are probably right there. That's pretty accurate. I don't remember. It's a long time ago if Minnesota was okay early on in 77. But, I mean, Kansas City won the division. They're only a game and a half out. The Yankees won the division in the East. They're only a game and a half. Baltimore is pooping the bed. They're 9 games out, and they were right there. I think the Red Sox and the Orioles finished 2 games out, tied for second place. Ken Castro got an interview with Butch Hobson back in the early 2000s. Cool. That's cool. He was an error machine in 77 and 78. Oof. He was a scare at third base. So in the West, in 77, the retro replay, Houston's leading the division by 1 over Cincinnati. The Dodgers are 3.5 back. And the Mets have moved up to 1, 2, 3. They're in 4th place, and they're only 2.5 out. So I was right. They're 2.5 out. They picked up a game because the Phillies must have lost. So the Mets are right there. It's been really fun. I was also playing as the San Francisco. I didn't do too well with them. I just didn't have a good feel with them. I didn't have fun playing as the Giants, which I was sad about because I was looking forward to play as the Giants too. So I cut it down to 2 teams. I play all the Red Sox games. I play most of the Mets games. I have fast played a couple of them, but most of those wins are, I've managed. And they're fun. I like managing the Mets. I'm playing with historical transactions, Ken. So that means Tom Seaver's going to get traded away in June, which really stinks. So. Oh, Ken Castro says Butch Hobson was managing the Nashua Pride, an independent team. I kind of remember that. So. Anyway, this is the standings. It's pretty cool. So let's see. Batting average, Gar. Batting leader. ERA, J.R. Richard. He's under 1. That's incredible. Mike Schmidt has 10 home runs. Wins, Splittorff with 6. Runs batted in, Luzinski with 29. Bill Soup Campbell for the Red Sox, 7 saves. Sparky Lyle for the Yankees, 1 behind him. Stolen bases, Billy North for Oakland. Strikeouts, Nolan Ryan, 59. On base percentage, Rod Carew for the Minnesota, 508. Then Yastrzemski's right behind him at 495. Opponent's average against. So Burt Blyleven for Texas only gives up a batting average of 140. Team batting, Pittsburgh, 314. The Red Sox behind him, that's 305. Then Cincinnati, 300. Texas, team pitching, 2.57. Then Houston, 263. Then Los Angeles, 281. Fielding, Atlanta, 984. Seattle, 983. Seattle actually has a good fielding team. They don't hit well. And Cincinnati, 982. All-Stars. Oh, they already have the All-Star voting already? I guess this is the All-Star for, like, the whole league. So Blyleven would be the number one pitcher. Then Munson would be the number one catcher. Baylor, the first baseman. So those are 3 American Leaguers. Then you have the first National Leaguer, second base Davey Lopes, and Nettles at third, New York Yankees. Bobby Grich, California, shortstop. Yastrzemski in left field for Boston. There's the first Red Sox. George Hendrick for San Diego in center. Richie Zisk in right field from the White Sox. And Jim Rice, the designated hitter. That's kind of cool. MVP so far, Greg Nettles. Manager of the year, Don Zimmer. So far, I guess that's what that means, because I'm pretty sure Greg Nettles didn't really win the MVP. Well, no, Rice won in '78. I don't think Greg Nettles won the MVP. I think Ron Guidry. No, that was '78. I think this is just with the it's got to be the retro replay. Obviously, Garden hit 425. So, anyhow, Red Sox fan, just showing you a little bit, Ken. I went a little longer than I expected, but he asked some questions. Ken posted in the chat again. Never thought that Campbell was all that good, Al, but he did a good job with him. He had a good 77. He was good with the Twins, and then he hurt his arm, and he was never the same. The drop off from 77 to 78 was incredible. When he hurt his arm and couldn't throw that curveball anymore, and his curveball was nasty. Anyone who hasn't seen a Bill Campbell curveball, type in Bill Campbell YouTube curveball. It just dropped off the table. It was vicious. So, anyway, once again, thank you to Ken Castro in the chat. I see some other people have jumped in. If they want to talk a little baseball for a couple more minutes, I'm just explaining my 77 season. More than welcome to. Ken says, wow, Atlanta's horrible. Yes, Atlanta's 5-19. They're bad. So Philadelphia would win the East in '77 and lose to the Dodgers in the pennant, and so I mean, they're leading the National League East. Like I said, the Dodgers are only 3.5 out, and again, it's a retro replay. It's not going to play exactly the same, and we don't want it to play exactly the same because we know what happened in 1977. Now, just an FYI for anyone watching, I manage the Red Sox and the Mets. I do not use as-played lineups for either team. I make my own lineups. The lineups that oppose me are as-played lineups by the computer. I have the hindsight of seeing who did well against what pitchers, who did well against lefties or righties and things like that. And that's how I make my lineup. I also have to watch out for the usage rule. You can't, if you overuse a player, they'll end up getting the mystery injury and you'll lose them. So you kind of got to keep them. You can probably go to about 110%, meaning they go 10% of what, maybe 15% over what they actually did. But you got to keep them. In other words, if someone only had 45 at-bats, I can probably get 70 at-bats, maybe 75 at-bats out of them before they really fall off the table. So that's the fun part about this game. That's what I like about this game. What I like about out of the ballpark baseball is I play that as an open world. I do whatever I want. My 73 Red Sox, because it's an open world and out of the ballpark 18, I have all kinds of different players. I've made trades. I've drafted differently. It's so much fun. And I recommend any of these games. Now, Action PC Baseball is a little more pricey, but it's a very well done game. I own all the Action PC games. Baseball, football, hockey, and even golf. They're all fun. They're pricey, though. If you like baseball, out of the ballpark 18, you get all the seasons. Graphically or visually, it's pretty nice. Same with this. I also play, if you want a good game at good value, and you like the dice baseball, I've been playing a lot of digital dice, digital diamond. It's wonderful for $20. Unbelievable. Now you have to have patience and load your fields and your players' pictures. If that doesn't bother you, without them, just play without it. But it's a very wonderful game, and I play those games all as played lineups. I'm doing a 1978 replay, and they're all as played lineups. I mostly play Red Sox games, but I pick other games too. I fast forward quite a few Red Sox games, but I pick teams. I look for the best pitching matchup, and I've enjoyed that game. It's really fun once I got used to it. So, well, I hope everyone enjoyed this. I had a good time. Thank you, Ken Castro. Thank you, What's Blazing in Sports, and thank you for anyone else who watched. Hope all stays well. Once again, the Mets defeat the Dodgers 3-1. I was just showing so far after May 5th, I believe it was. Let me go to play. So the last day I stopped ended was May 5th. These are the standings as of May 5th. In the American League West, Minnesota leads Texas by a half game, and the White Sox by 1, and the Kansas City Royals by 1.5, California by 1. Everyone's in it. Even Seattle, the last place team's only 6.5 out. The Red Sox in the East, who I manage, 19 wins, 3 losses, a game and a half up on the Yankees. Philadelphia in the National League East, a game up on Pittsburgh, 2.5 over St. Louis, 2.5 over the Mets, who I manage, 2.5 over Montreal. Chicago Cubs in last are only 4.5 out. They're all in it. The one National League West, Houston's in first place right now. 1 game in front of Cincinnati, 3.5 in front of the Dodgers. And San Diego 7 back. Then pretty much everyone else falls off the table. Giants are only 8.5. Again, so in the American League East, Boston first, Yankees game and a half back, then Baltimore's 9 out, and then everyone falls off the table. So, it's a pretty fun game. I like it. Ken Castro asks, Al, what other seasons have you completed with Action PC? I've not completed any yet. I'm playing the 77 season. I'm playing the 66 Red Sox, which, a lot of fun. Obviously, the year before, the Impossible Dream. But let me see if I can bring them up. Bear with me a moment. I just bought a ton of seasons. There's a sale, and I went nuts buying seasons. I'm hoping this comes up without me having to do another screen. So I'm trying to bring up my 66 season. And there it is. Okay, good. Can you see that, Ken? It looks like you can see it. So I'm playing only as the Red Sox. I was playing spot games here and there, but I wasn't finding enjoyment with it because I really didn't want to mess up the standings too much. I picked the Mets in the National League because they weren't good, so when I'm doing my 77, I'm only playing as the Red Sox in this, and we are 72 games in. The Red Sox have 2 games above 500, 37 and 35, and we're 8 games out of first. The Red Sox had pulled to within 2.5 of the Orioles, and that's a really cool series if you want to watch that one. And when they won the first game, and they lost the next 2 in close games. That was fun. The Orioles just have outstanding pitching. Right now, the Orioles are tied in 66 retro replay with Minnesota. And again, if you look up, the Red Sox in 66 were dreadful. Dreadful. Ken says, Al, got Digital Diamond and I didn't feel it. Well, I hope you downloaded the demo. I hope you didn't spend the $20. Not that that's a lot, but I tell you what I like about Digital Diamond. Just to give you my opinion, it just brings me back to playing dice baseball when I was a kid. I also downloaded the demo of PC Replay or something like that, and I really didn't like it. I'm going to give it a couple more shots. Again, it's a free demo to download. They give you 20% of the season that you can play. So, I really couldn't tell where they were pulling their stats from and things like that. And I'm getting used to Digital Diamond. I kind of like it. It makes me use a lot of my imagination. Even with these games, they might be a little more visual, but I'm using a lot of my imagination. I can visualize it. But I can understand where you don't feel it. It seems like a very basic game, and it is in a way, but there's enough strategy in it for me that I enjoy it. And so I'm doing the 78th season with Digital Diamond, Ken. And I'm doing the 66 season and the 77 season with Action PC. I also have a couple of other things I'm going to start, but I'd like to get a little more into these before I start the other ones. I finally figured out how to do a playoff, which is really easy. I feel stupid now. It took me this long to figure it out. I want to do tournaments instead of whole seasons and just pick teams, which I now know how to do. 16 teams. I might go best out of 5 first round, and best out of 7, or best out of 5, best out of 3, best out of 5, best out of 7, or just best out of 7s. So, Ken, what's your favorite game of choice, watching or playing? I like the Earls. I like when the Earls play dice baseball. I watch a lot of those on demand. I try to catch as many as I can live. How do you like? Have you seen Earl play that new one? He's doing the '73 Red Sox season. I can't. It's a new game, new dice board baseball game. It's very good. I like it. Plays quicker. I like it when you watch. I can't remember the name of it. I like when he does this. I like the app. I like the Stratomatic. I favor the new game the best that he's playing with that the new board baseball game, and I can't remember the name. But other than that, I like Stratomatic. I played Stratomatic when I was a kid. So, yeah, so Minnesota's and Baltimore tied here. The Red Sox, who I managed, 2 games above 500, which is much better than their real record at the time. I looked that up. And Pittsburgh, 3 up over Atlanta. Now, in 66, I believe the Dodgers win the pennant and get swept by Baltimore in 4 games in the World Series. I'm pretty sure of that. The Dodgers could not hit a lick in 66. Great pitching, but couldn't hit. I think they only scored 2 runs or 4 runs in 4 games. They got swept in the World Series against the Orioles. All right, well, this is Al Red Sox fan saying thank you very much. We've gone about an hour and a half on the stream. I really don't want to stop, but I'm enjoying my conversation with Ken Castro, but gotta hit the hay soon. Thank you very much, Ken, for joining me, watching the game, staying with it. Hope you come back. Hope you tell some friends. The more the merrier. If the Earls aren't on and you guys want to come on over, that's fine. If the Earls are on, stay there. I love the Earls, so that's why I usually play my games late. But I was watching Earl. I call him Earl the Second. He was playing a game, and then I decided I had an opportunity to stream a little sooner, so I went to go stream and play. So, anyhow, once again, Al Red Sox fan saying thank you very much to everyone. Shout out to Ken Castro in the chat and What's Blazing in Sports. Check out What's Blazing in Sports channel. Thank you for watching. Mets defeat the Dodgers once again 3-1. I was just going over some other seasons I was playing. Appreciate your patience. Appreciate you watching. Take care. Health and happiness. Till next time. Bye-bye. God bless. Take care, Ken.